Hello, Wisdom and Wellness family. Welcome to another episode. Today, we've got our new set, and I think it's fitting to have this person on this new set. In case you didn't know, before I introduce him, what's what?
So nervous.
Anyway, I think back how special this moment is because I remember my first salon, and if I could show the pictures shaved, and we thought, wow.
We thought we had, done a thing.
We had done the great work. But today I am sitting with Mahalia Buchanan. She will introduce her new surname. She's a seasoned artist, creative genius, as I call her, award-winning artist, talk show host, producer. Absolutely hilarious. I mean, I think if you've chilled with Mahalia, you will know. A girl with a plan. Look, if you are stuck in the desert and you don't know what to do, she's the girl you need to call. And she's recently married to the love of her life, Mr. Holmes. Welcome, girl.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, what an intro.
Right? But you're amazing. I was just like, okay, I need to shorten this down. I need to bring it down.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Do you want to introduce your new surname?
So my new surname is easy, Hermanstein. If you struggle.
Not easy. Come on.
Well, it kind of is not easy.
Your uncles, what do they say?
Hemstein.
Exactly.
No, actually, we had Spoo at our wedding.
Yeah.
Spoo,
Yeah.
he was our MC. He kept saying Hemstein.
Was it on purpose? It was just like, I'm triple.
It's like Mahalia and Wayne Hemstein.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Holmes.
So it's Hermanstein, but for short you can call me Holmes.
Yeah, I feel like it's so. Wait, have you changed? Did you double barrel or did you
No, I literally just went Mahalia Hermanstein, but
you didn't change it on Instagram?
no, not on Instagram, because people know me for Mahalia Buchanan,
Yeah,
and I kind of wanted to keep it like that. But at home,
yeah.
I am
Mrs.
Mahalia, Mrs.
Mama
Hermanstein.
wasekhaya.
Ah.
Okay, let's get into some icebreaker question.
Okay.
What old person thing do you do besides drink tea?
Oh my goodness, I love drinking tea.
So you're not allowed to say tea.
So I have very cold feet.
Okay.
I wear socks all the time.
I get it.
I wear socks all the time.
Okay. Is that an old person thing? I think it's a woman thing. Because have you seen these memes where men are just no matter the way that your woman's feet will always be in between?
No, but you know what it is? It's like when I have a memory of an old person sitting in a house just always wearing socks.
Socks. Okay.
Yeah, socks and me.
Okay. Socks and tea.
Yeah.
If money and time were no object, what would you be doing right now?
Oh my goodness, I would be on a beach somewhere with my phone on flight mode with no disturbances with my man.
Okay.
Shutting the world out.
Forever.
Right there. Oh yes, if I could forever, I really would. Yeah.
Are you the kind of person who would, if you could just do nothing for a whole year, you would survive?
Yes, I've proven that doing nothing for a whole year, I can survive. So yeah, if I do nothing for the whole year, I think I'd be able to survive.
Yo, I wanted to take leave for the last 3 months of the year.
Yeah.
And I announced it to my family. I'm just like, Mom, I'm taking the next 3 months for the rest of the year off and everything. And after 2-3 weeks, I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you always have to be busy.
Yeah.
It does get to you sometimes, but I promise you, if I could literally just sit on an island and just sip my favorite
Oh,
drink
no.
and not do anything.
Yeah,
Sign
that's
me
it.
up.
All right. A last question. What song, if I played it now, would make you lose your morals?
Oh my goodness, I'm allowed to say this.
Say it.
I feel like this is all about song, and this is gonna make me sound ratchet, but Sister Bettina.
No! There's no way!
Please, come on. That song is
That's
goated.
cliche.
No,
You
that
sing
is
all the
my
lyrics.
jam. Well, half of it.
Line for line.
Come on, you have to have a ratchet song. Oh, no, ratchet song.
Summer Renaissance.
Ooh.
That song.
Ooh.
That song.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it goes play, everything changes for me.
No, I feel like that.
Sister Bettina.
Sister Bettina is the one. I
Yes.
feel like everybody loses their morals when Sister Bettina plays.
Maybe if I'm at a stadium, yeah, but randomly I'd just be like, why? Why? And also, I don't think I didn't play, I've never found it as amazing. Maybe because I never got in like a party era.
You know what it is? I don't think you grew up in the
Exactly. Exactly.
So for some of us who grew up
like,
there,
mangena,
when
like
this song comes on, and you
Yeah.
know what it is? Like I saw a video the other day of Paul Pops, the comedian.
yeah,
And he was just reminiscing on like songs from back in the day.
yeah.
It's one of those songs when it plays, you call your friends because you can't feel it alone.
It's just like
Guys,
Okay.
it's playing.
I get that. I think, yeah, if like the setting is right, I probably would get into that. But also, I think inside of me, deep down.
I think you do.
Okay, let's get into the conversation. You started your career at 13, had us doing runs. So, 13 CPs in my runs. So how did you discover your gift, like your gift of singing? And to that extent where at 13 years old, you had the confidence, which I can be in a recording, I can actually sing these lines.
Do you know what? I mean, for me personally, church has played a very big role in number one, shaping my gift.
Yeah.
And also being a platform to discover
Yeah.
the gifts within me. So I'm also from a family who has a musical background. So that basically, we knew that we could sing. 'Cause
Okay.
that's all we did
That's
at
all you
home
did.
anyway.
Yeah.
But church played a very big role in helping me just unearth the gifts within me. And I knew that this is something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And by God's grace, I was able to start at 13 years old with Pastor Benjamin Dube. And
Imagine starting with a whole Pastor Benjamin Dube.
can you imagine?
On that, when it happened, did you feel like, because a lot of people, I think now we struggle or we fuss over the word purpose, calling, this is what I'm meant to do. At that moment, did you know this is what I'm meant to do?
Do you know what it is? I think I knew that I wanted to sing,
Yeah.
but I didn't understand the depth of purpose.
Okay.
So for me, singing was amazing, and the fact that I could sing with somebody that I see on TV, I felt like, oh my
DVD,
God.
and at the time, it's just like,
I felt like, oh, I
made it.
arrived.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand the depths of it. But God would use such a platform with such a great man who has such a deep relationship with God to groom and awaken something within me that just felt like, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to this thing. It's not really just about singing, but there's got to be more. And Pastor Benjamin played a very big role in just being somebody that I look to as a point of inspiration and just wanting to do more with this gift that I have. And
who were you listening to like at the time? Because I mean, I go back to that song and it's like, it stood the test of, obviously I've gone down memory lane and stood the test of time. But who were you listening to? Like, I'm trying to understand where the skill it came from and I mean, a certain level of maturity.
For me, says the skill as though I was the
No,
GOAT.
but come on. Because I remember, I was in the praise and worship team and Grant.
Don't.
And Grant came with the song. And at the time when he came with it, I think I was like 13 or 14 or something.
No,
and
you're probably a baby.
Yeah, I was much younger. Yeah. And no, not when it came out. So I think I was around 13, 14 when I was singing, and he came with the song and he's like, yeah, this is the song you're going to do. Go practice it. Way. I'm just like, okay. So that skill, where did it come from? Who were you listening to? Was it a case of every day at home we are actually like practicing, or that's just what you did?
Okay, so I was a very, very big fan of Destiny's Child back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was
you were Beyonce.
I was definitely Beyonce.
Okay.
So I was not allowed to listen to Destiny's Child at home.
No.
Yes. So I got savings that I actually used to work at a restaurant, and I kept my savings and I bought a CD.
How old are you at this time?
I think I am 15.
Okay. Yeah.
So I buy the CD and I take it to my friend's house. So I listen to Beyonce at my friend's house without my mom finding out. So, that's where it started. And I mean, at that age, Destiny's Child was a very, very big group.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all just loved Beyonce.
Yeah.
And I think it literally just started from there, listening to her all the time. And trying to do what she does.
Did you ever? So when did you get to the point where you're just like, okay, mom, look, I get it. We're Christian, but I'm tired of hiding like my other life, my sinful music,
My hidden life.
my hidden life.
Okay, so this one time, my mom actually finds the CD and she takes me to the pastor to pray for me because clearly I am demon possessed. And, after that, I think I didn't understand. I was like, this is not so deep.
Yeah.
And right after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to listen to her still, but like under the covers.
Yeah.
But
forgive me.
yeah, my mom spoiled the fun for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely spoiled the fun.
Yeah, but I love it. When you say she took you to the pastor, I can imagine it. Like I can see the picture. You did an interview, I think last year or so, in a podcast, and you mentioned that when you turn 30, a whole lot of things start making sense.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm turning 30 in about 2 months. And like stuff is changing, right? And I can feel it. Firstly, my body is just not reacting the way it's supposed to.
Yes.
And I have to constantly remind myself, Kuti girl, you're not under 25. But I didn't think that's what kind of happens. Like I just thought it's just an age thing, like everything's been happening. But I can literally feel the change and the shift.
Yeah.
So what did you mean by that? And what was that shift for you?
Oh, I mean, when we were younger, we all looked at 30 as this adult age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when I was 29, I was actually afraid to turn 30 because I was like, oh my
Really?
God, I'm going to be a granny. I was afraid.
I'm
I'll be
excited
honest.
for it.
I'm happy for you.
Okay. I'm definitely excited for it.
So I honestly felt like, oh my goodness, it feels like this is going to be the granny age or whatever else. I feel like your perspective starts becoming so solid when you're 30. And as you reflect on your 20s, the things that actually shaped you. I think when you're 30, you get to a place where a no becomes a solid no.
Thank God.
And a yes becomes a solid yes.
Yeah.
Your perspective changes. And I think also for me right now, I think I'm also very in tune with the fact that my body has changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's not as easy for me to get my body where it was when I was 20. And I'm finally happy with it. It was a struggle though, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I'm finally at a place where I'm accepting change. And I'm stepping into where I am now and making the most of it, really.
Yeah. So the change for me has been like so hard, right? Like it feels, like I said, I'm excited to turn 30 because like I feel like I have an old soul and I like old people, like 40 sounds fun and everything. So I'm excited from that perspective and the wisdom and all of that maturity. But from a, like my like from a, and I don't want to call it vanity because it really isn't. It matters. It matters how we look. It matters how we feel. I'm struggling to accept the changes. Like I'm struggling to accept that before I could go on holiday for a week and come back and I'll get into a routine and everything will go back to normal. And now I just came back from a holiday a month ago. I've been getting back into routine, but like things are just not changing. And it's like, okay, there's a level of frustration. Am I not doing enough? Should I go even harder? But then there's also a level of, well, everything needs to happen from a place of love. So it sounds like you've gotten to that place where whatever happens needs to come from a place of love.
Yeah, a place of love and also a place of understanding that things are not the same.
Yeah.
I will not perform the way I performed when I was 20.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm defeated. I can't walk. I can't do anything else. But it's a place of it's a place of understanding. Like something happened with my skin.
Yeah. What happened?
Boy, did it affect my self-esteem. Like, I just started getting hyperpigmentation. I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And now you start realizing, okay, I need to love the why am I forgetting this word?
Not
the people who do your face.
Oh, dermatologist.
Dermatologist.
The dermatologist, yeah.
I need to start loving this. I need to start welcoming the fact that I actually need a good facial routine in my in my daily life. or I need to start eating better
Yeah.
because my hormones probably are not operating the same that they operated when I was 20.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of change that sometimes can give you anxiety.
Yeah.
But I think you operate from a place of love and understanding that things are new. And I just have to do better. If I want to perform better, I have to put in the work to perform better.
What was your biggest lesson in your 20s?
Ooh, my biggest lesson in my 20s is going for it.
Okay.
Going for it and just having the faith sometimes even without the sight.
Okay. Going for it, having the faith without the sight.
Yes, like having the faith without the sight. It's like right now, I feel like I'm a little bit more guarded than what I was when I was 20.
Why do you feel like it's because of hurt, experience, or just as we get older, we start being a little more careful? I don't know.
Do you know what it is? I think personally for me, I think, life starts happening for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes life can alter a whole lot.
Yeah.
And personally for me, it definitely did alter a whole lot, where I used to be this person that would believe that if you tell me we're going to the stadium, I'll have the belief to say I'm going to fill it up.
Yeah.
But at a later stage, I found out, I believed for others, but I stopped believing for myself,
Yeah.
And now it's a journey.
Yeah.
How do I get back to that place where I believed without sight? And sometimes, it's just life happening, certain things that just changes your confession, things that just alter your faith. And I think ultimately for me personally, it's that my relationship with God was affected heavily.
Yeah.
And my faith always came by declaring the word of God.
Yeah.
And because of what happened in my life at the time, silenced, just speaking the faith, believing and going for things. So I would definitely say that my biggest lesson from my 20s was just having faith.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I spoke to my therapist, and we were speaking of exactly about what you're saying, that if someone else says, I'm doing this, it's like it's so easy to believe, like, what can I do? How are we making this happen?
Yeah.
You can actually see the picture. But as soon as it's about self,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, hold up. It's great and all that side, but not here. And she
Yeah.
said that comes from a deep insecurity.
Hey, absolutely.
And I said, oh, I'm not insecure. I don't think I have an insecurity issue. And obviously the whole session went up that insecurity doesn't always look like I need to hide myself, or it's not always evident. But sometimes it's like what you're saying, life happens and it alters your confession.
Absolutely.
And it changes your belief. And you go from having, and I saw that this year with me, in relationships, where it's like normally I'm just like a trusting person, open, and then life just keeps happening. And before you know it, it's like, why am I so guarded? Why do I have these walls? And I don't think that's how God intends for us to live.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a very painful place to live guarded, because like you say, God really calls us for community. And in community, we lift up each other. We sharpen
Vulnerability.
each other. Yes. We sharpen each other. And honestly, even for myself, I've literally also found myself at a place where I've just become so guarded, distant, disassociated a lot of times. It can be hectic.
That happens, but God heals. Okay, so 20s, your biggest lesson, you were going for it.
Yeah.
What does the 30s looked like? And now you're in the middle.
Hey.
If you choose which side, mathematics, it's pointing 40.
Straight there.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My 30s. You know what? My 30s are accepting that life will happen. Accepting that life will happen and stop trying to hold things together. Sometimes just allow things to break and start from the bottom and build again.
I'm going to go back to my therapist again. I feel like she should just come here. I said to her, I'm starting to feel like I don't have to be the good girl.
Yeah, or superwoman.
Yeah.
All the time.
Like fixing every, it's so tiring.
Like, who needs help?
Yeah.
No.
It is so tiring. And it's like, I feel like, I said to her, I feel like I'm like a little rebel in me is coming alive. And she's not a Christian therapist. So because she's not a Christian therapist, she's like, let's explore that. I'm like, I've never ever had anyone give me the permission to explore a side of me that's not straight up, boxed up. But that's part of the process.
It absolutely, yeah, man. It's a part of the process. Like with us, my mom fell ill in 2019.
Yeah.
And she was sick for 3 years.
Sure.
So when I say 3 years sick, she couldn't do anything for herself.
Sure.
So 3 years being bedridden.
Sure.
And she fell sick just before COVID.
Sure.
Hectic time of our lives that altered everything for me. Like, I used to love saying, "Oh, I'm a servant of God, and I love serving, and serving is the epitome of who I am," you know. And it was almost as though God was like, "Okay, can you serve? Let's see that," you know. And sometimes it's also very easy for us to serve strangers until we start serving our own family. And we personally now had to learn how to become carers because she couldn't do anything for herself. She was bedridden. She couldn't go to the bathroom. She couldn't wash herself. She couldn't eat. She couldn't do nothing. So what do you do, you know, in moments like that where I'm the only girl at home, all the responsibilities laying on me?
Yeah.
I have to hold it together, you know. I have to arrive being Bob the Builder, carrying everybody. But sometimes these pressures, you know, get so hectic on us and we hold things together, but we crumble inside.
Yeah, like you're breaking inside. Yeah.
And that's literally what happened to me. I started breaking, but I kept on putting up the walls, trying to project that I was okay.
Yeah.
Until when my mom actually passed away, I realized, you know what? I am a mess.
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I've literally just learned to allow the walls to break.
Yeah.
And just give it to God to build the foundation from scratch again. If it hurts, however I look to the public or whatever it is, whatever the perception is, it's okay.
It's the truth.
It's breaking season, but I know that God's gonna build it. And yeah.
I mean, you and your mom did everything together. I remember specifically the car rides and singing and church. I'm sure even in your adulthood, you were never allowed to miss church.
No.
So how was that transition from going to, this is my mom, if I need prayer, I know she's got me, to now, I feel like you almost shifted into being her mother.
Ooh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, my mom was very the prayer warrior.
Yeah.
You know, the person that carried me spiritually was my mom. And for 3 years, she was just silent.
By silent, you mean literally silent?
The sickness had affected her so much that she was not speaking.
Yeah.
So 3 years of utter silence from a person that was
Loud.
the life in the room.
Yeah.
You know, the life in the room, or my accountability partner, somebody that brings me back to God. Somebody who sees, you know, when I fall at certain places, don't do that, you know, or fixes me up. Somebody who is always available to just cover my blind spots. And for 3 whole years, I saw her just, you know, lose herself.
Sure.
Quiet, no speaking, no encouragement, no motivation, no prayers.
Sure.
But I had to show up every day to literally be her mother. You know, it alters something. It alters something within you. Doing that for your parents.
Yeah.
It definitely alters something within you. And I think, you know, even at times it could literally it could almost depress you.
Yeah.
But like I say, man, I just allowed my walls to break and just allowed God to build me up from where I was.
Did you ever get angry at your mother?
I was. In the 3 years, I
Yeah.
was extremely angry.
Because, I mean, like you said, you've got a life, you've got
Yes.
a career, you've got love life. You've got things happening, but you have to stop.
I was angry. I think I was angry at everybody, if I'm being honest. I was just so angry. I was angry that God would put me in a situation like this. I was like, hey, God, can something just function right in our family?
Sure.
This is not it. This is not what I signed up for. But it's like, for me at the time, my relationship with God at the time, just before my mom got sick, was not really at a great place. But it was also almost as though God was like, okay, I'm going to use this thing to draw you closer to me again.
Wow.
You know, and it's like, we're praying for healing, and God's like, yo, I'm looking for intimacy with you again.
Yo.
You know, so it's all of these things happening. It's like,
At
God,
the same time.
you're asking for intimacy. It's hard for me to serve. It's hard for me to do things like this. And God's like, would you prefer serving when everybody claps? Or would you prefer serving when you could draw closer to me? And in the moment, I mean,
You're just like, you can't.
no.
Let's leave this whole thing.
I'm not here for nothing.
Yeah. Oh.
You know? But yeah, I was angry.
Yeah.
I was extremely angry at the situation.
I'm so
honestly.
glad you speak about, one, you mentioned that your relationship with God was not, paraphrasing, was not where you wanted it to be, where it was supposed to be. Two, you were angry at God. And I think it's such an important conversation because I think it gives permission to other people.
Yeah.
Especially from the space you come from where, like I said, you started at 13, your whole life is God, your whole life is church, your whole life is serving, your whole brand is Jesus girl. And people look to, I'm sure you get this question a lot, how do I get a relationship with God? I'm sure people ask you that a lot. And there's so much pressure to have this put together relationship where every day we're at the feet of Jesus and it's just goosebumps. But I'm so glad you touch on, my relationship just was not there. And you've allowed yourself to be there and to say, God, I'm angry at you. Now, for someone who's at that place of, God, I'm angry at you, how did you navigate that without feeling like you're throwing away your faith?
Ooh, you know, I think it's very, we need to have a real relationship with God.
What's a real relationship with God?
Where you tell him everything. Where you tell him, like, intimacy.
Yeah.
You know? Where you tell him everything. Like, God, this is really not what I signed up for. You're asking me and entrusting me to do all of these things, and I come up and I do it for you. But when I need you to come through for me, it's like you just throw me to the wolves, you know? So, God, what is this? You know, I'm really not liking this. Help me understand. Give me the perspective that I need in this. But to be honest with you, you and I aren't really best friends in this moment.
Sure.
You know, I love you and I respect you and I honor you. But I'm angry.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And I think God honors us when we actually come before him being honest with a pure heart.
Yeah.
Rather than coming, you know, masked up, knowing that deep down we have deep issues that lie within us. I think God honors it when we come to him with our vulnerability.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody should feel like you're being blasphemous for actually having conversations like that with God. I feel like real relationship requires real conversation.
Yes, to be allowed to be angry, to be allowed to be sad, to be allowed to be like, not today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing behind everything else, I knew that God would carry me and I knew that he would fix everything. But in the moment, it just looked bleak.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't even want to hear anybody say, oh, it's going to be okay. I'm like,
You
it's
don't
not
need a
okay
scripture.
now.
You don't need,
Don't give me a scripture. Yes, it's going to be okay. It's not okay now.
Yeah.
I just need him to fix my heart now.
Yeah. When you look back, what do you know now about love?
Ooh, what do I know now about love? Oh, Jesus. Love. Love is, it's so many things. But I would say love is sacrifice. Love is sacrifice.
We don't want that sacrificial love. We want the cute love.
We do.
We want the cute love.
But love is sacrifice. It's, you know, I always heard people say dying to yourself daily. oh my God, it's hectic to die daily. And you're like, I don't want to be kind to this person. I don't. But like you say, sacrificial love, that's where the growing is.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, love is sacrifice.
Yeah. Can't wait for the new music in November.
Well,
I'm going to put you under pressure.
Before the end of November.
Before the end of November. And if you don't give us some new music, what must we do?
Well, I said it out here. So I'm definitely releasing it in November.
Okay.